The first stitch we are going to teach you is called the running stitch, and you will show this to your client before having them attempt it by themselves. And so you show your client to put the leather down through one hole, and then they come back up in the next hole. And you would want them to do 3 of these in a row without any mistake. The second stitch we are going to teach you today is called the whip stitch. And before you teach your client this stitch, you want to ensure to instruct them about the difference between the 2 sides of the leather lacing. And so you can say that one side is smooth and shiny while the other is not smooth. And so you would instruct your client to bring the lace around to the front of the leather and over the edge. And then you would push the leather through the next hole, pull the lace tight, and be sure that the lace isn't twisted. You would tell them to not skip any holes and then ask them to perform 3 whip stitches. If the client is able to complete 3 whip stitches, you then tell the client that you are going to make a mistake. You're going to ask them to then show you this mistake and fix it. If they are able to complete this step, you then make a second mistake and ask your client to show you this mistake, and then again they try to fix the mistake. These mistakes are standardized, and for the sake of time, we are not going to complete this step of the administration of the ACLS-5 screening, but we want you to be aware that this will be occurring in administration. The third and final stitch we are going to teach you today is the single cordovan stitch. You would first tell your client that you'd like to see if they could make the stitch that looks like your stitch without showing them. So you'd say something like, "I'd like to see if you can make a stitch that looks like mine without me showing you, and I'd like you to make 3 stitches." If they cannot figure out how to make this stitch, you can give them a verbal hint, such as, "I believe the first part of your stitch was correct." If they cannot still figure out how to make this stitch, then you can give them a demonstration. You would tell them to bring the lace around to the front of the leather over the edge, and then to push the needle through the next hole from front to back, leaving a loop. You would tell them to bring the lace around to the front of the leather again, and push the needle through the loop from front to back, and keep the needle to the left of the lace as you go through the loop. You would tell them to pull the lace through the loop, then tighten the stitch by pulling from back from the long end of the lace. You would tell them, do not let the lace twist and do not skip any holes, and then ask them to complete 3 of their own single cordovan stitches. A second demonstration may be necessary, and this is also allowed by the ACLS-5, but this will lower their score in the screening. The highest score an individual can receive on the ACLS-5 is a 5.8. And a 5.8 consists of completing 3 single cordovan stitches without a demonstration or verbal cue by examining the sample stitches and using trial and error. The lowest score an individual can receive on the ACLS-5 is a 3.0, and this is identified as grasping the leather or pushing it away. Client may not attempt to grasp the lace or may grasp the leather lacing when handed to the person and moves leather lacing in a random manner.